Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Welcome to Studio Chatter. September is in full swing, so we have a lot to talk about.
And I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk with our friends over at Laughing Owl Greenhouses. Maybe we'll get our hands dirty.
And I'm Angela Euler. We'll meet the owners of the Mint Facial Spa. That sounds wonderful.
And we'll talk about a school lunch crisis. All that and more coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. Welcome to Angela Euler. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Good to have you
It's been
here.
forever.
Yes, maybe too long.
You're gonna have to reintroduce me. Everybody's, no, just kidding.
Thank you.
It's been a while, but it's fun to be back.
Filling in for Angie this week, yes?
Yes.
Have we found our September groove yet?
I think we're all trying to recover from the summer.
Yeah, I did put up my fall decor over the weekend.
okay.
So I did tell my daughter, I feel like when that happens, it makes me more excited because I really have a hard time letting go of summer.
Now
Yeah.
you're in fall mode. I saw pumpkin spice is starting to sell at the stores.
Yes.
Pumpkin spice bread
Starbucks
at Costco
makes
today.
it official, huh?
Right.
They announced their pumpkins out the end of August, and it's like, all right, summer's over.
Yes, Bath and Body Works makes it official too, right?
Yeah.
Sweater weather.
Yes, and the barn.
Yes.
I just drove past there today,
With
and all the pumpkins.
It's so fun, right?
Yeah. And we're going to have a good show, I think, with Travis from Laughing Owl Greenhouses. They're going to be doing some fun things out there this fall, so that'll be fun to find out. I ran into him getting my Coke Zero at the dugout on Saturday. He gave me a quick insight.
It wasn't pumpkin spiced?
It was not. I've not had any pumpkin yet. Have you?
Oh, no, but I'm growing pumpkins, so.
Oh.
They're like the pie, what are they called? They're the kind that you make pies with. So
And will you really make a pie with it?
Uh-huh, yeah. So I
Oh my
learned how to
gosh.
you bake them, you put like water in a tray and bake them and for so long, and then you pull them out and you scrape all the inside out.
Did you see my face just fall? I'm like, no, what?
And then you put that, like, you know how you take the canned pumpkin, so instead of canned, you're scraping out the fresh
Ooh.
flesh. That sounds really.
So we're going to invite you back.
Pumpkin,
yes.
it will
Throw
have
that
to
on the
have
floor.
pumpkin, like really fresh pumpkin pie. Wouldn't that be so good?
Yes.
Have you had it before? You've had this recipe?
Yeah,
Where did you get it from?
I don't even remember.
Oh, so you've done it before. This is not a first time.
Yeah, it's been a while since I grew pumpkins. So I always grow pumpkins, but sometimes they're the big ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're these little teeny cute ones. This year I'm like, I'm gonna grow some to make fresh pumpkin pie.
I didn't even know that was the option out there. Did you?
No.
Only in
just like-
America do we put our vegetables out and let them rot on our porch.
My face still, I'm like, I only like warty pumpkins.
I like cute ones for the
Yes,
floors.
yes.
Yes.
And maybe, what's the other thing? Have you ever done, dinner in a pumpkin? I think
Yes.
I've done that.
Oh, tell me
once.
about
Yes,
that.
that was good. But it's been a couple years, so I don't even
Yeah.
remember
You
You
what's
just put
in
stuff
it.
in it and you bake it in the oven, or what?
It's like ground beef, right?
Yes.
And other vegetables.
It's like
potatoes.
a tinfoil dinner type thing, but dinner in a pumpkin.
in a pumpkin.
I mean,
sounds like-
it's festive, right?
My kids would love that.
Yeah.
And I would be like, this is so messy. But here I
It's
am
not,
making
but it's not. Yeah, it's not messy.
Oh.
Not really. Just taking out the inside and then.
and then putting your stuff
Putting
in.
it all in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So are you back to school?
Yes,
Remind me how much longer?
I have a year and a half.
Angela.
I know.
well
That's
on
like
your
May,
way,
I
right?
have been in my master's program for a year as of
So that's like next Christmas. You're done?
it might be like January or
Oh, okay.
February-ish. We're
So it's
right
not
around
like
then.
right on the, okay.
Yeah.
That's still,
I know, it's gonna come fast.
I think whenever you can say the next time
Yeah.
around.
When I can look at my schedule and see that I only have, so I have 2 classes right now. I think I have 4 classes, like actual classes where I do homework. The rest of them are gonna be internship and practicum.
Do you know where you'll be
stuff.
doing that yet?
I actually have a couple places that are like, we'll take you. It's nice because there's such a need for
Yes.
it.
Okay.
That used to be that's like, okay, start looking now because it's going to be a hard time. But I just put it out there and I have all kinds of people like, come here, because they know that if you do your internship there, you're likely to work there,
Oh.
right?
So that's kind of an important decision for you to make.
So it feels like I am trying to pick. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I really like having that option. It's an option.
Are you
where to
driving
go.
anywhere right now, or are you doing online?
Online.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
What kind of classes are you taking right now?
I'm so glad you asked. So one of them is diagnosis. So I learned how to diagnose people, like if they have anxiety or depression or OCD, different things like that. And then the other one is couples and sex therapy.
Oh, well then you're
So-
going to learn a lot.
Yes.
Both very important, right?
We'll have
very
you back
important.
as
Very-
a guest.
Yes. Yes. We can, yeah.
So have you jumped on the recent bandwagon in the last 2 weeks about the Jody so-and-so that was arrested with the 8 passengers?
Oh, I did hear about that. There's a group that I'm on Facebook of lots of therapists.
Okay.
And they talked about it, and it's heartbreaking because think of what that message sends to people who may have a hard time coming to therapy as it is, and then having
right.
somebody do that.
Betray their trust.
Yeah,
And
it's a
tell them that
big-
they were, I was listening to a podcast actually today, and it was, they were replaying something that the two of them had said, like, stop giving us 1-star reviews. We want you all to get on and give us 5-star reviews. Stop doing the 1 stars. Which I guess it's illegal for therapists to even ask for reviews. They're not supposed to. There's an ethics class or something.
Oh yeah, I did a whole class on
So
it.
are you supposed to ask for reviews?
So it gets, when you do things online, there are just so many things that you have to think about and consider, especially even my own personal profile, because you don't want to make anything awkward for some, like maybe somebody comes to me for therapy, but then later on they look me up on Facebook and I'm this wild person in real life, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, this feels, because when you kind of create a type of relationship in therapy with your clients and a relationship with trust, and maybe they have a idea of how they want to picture you, and then
Yeah.
if they see you as something else or something, so a lot of therapists don't put their personal profiles out there.
Oh.
But at the same time, you're trying to build a business, and you would probably like reviews in a positive light.
Yeah, a lot of, just from what we talked about in my ethics class, it's a fine line. You have to be
I'm
really,
sure.
really careful.
Or they even said it's a little more okay to ask for anonymous reviews, whereas instead of online, if
that's
they're
probably true.
like public.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't tell people to give you a certain rating.
That was the
you
problem.
say, you send us your feedback, because honestly, if you're getting a 1-star review, you should review that and say, what should we be doing
Yeah,
better?
That's exactly what they were saying. I don't know much
So-
about it, but it sounds horrible.
Yeah,
But this is a field that's been low therapists for so long. It's starting to increase. I just know 2 graduates from my class.
but there's
My
still,
class back in high school, not like I'm graduating from a class.
I was like, Stacey, is there something-
No
tell us?
announcing, no.
Well, we are happy that you are here, and you
Yes.
can tell us more later on,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely. So.
Well, we have a great show coming up.
Yeah, we do. I'm excited.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, have you heard of the Mint? Stay with us to learn more. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. The Mint Facial Bar opened up just a few months ago on Main Street, and it's as cute as its name. Let's welcome the founder, Addison Contreras, and manager, Caitlin Spencer, to the table. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. This will be a great segment. I can feel it already. Yeah.
We're excited. We're excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
So tell us how you got started.
I graduated high school and went to aesthetic school. My original plan was to go to nursing school like Caitlin.
Oh.
But I didn't. I went to aesthetic school. I was 16 years old and then ended up graduating aesthetic school when I was 17. I got my first job at a med spa, and I got to work alongside a dermatologist, which was wonderful. I just grew so much and I learned so many things, and then had a few other jobs after that. And after we had our daughter, she was a month old, and we were like, what are we doing? We want to open a business. What do we do? And my husband was like, you're good at this. Like, do what you're passionate about, and we'll see how it goes. And so I wanted to bring change to the aesthetics industry, because the aesthetics industry was always very like, you come in, you choose from a menu. It's either super crazy corrective or this super fluffy foo-foo facial. That's really not going to do much. But you go in and you have this experience and you don't learn a lot about your skin. You were just going in and getting a treatment simply to get a treatment. There was no prioritizing skin health. No one was talking about the dangers of skin cancer or, aging gracefully, or the difference between a regular cosmetic product versus a cosmeceutical and the benefits surrounding it. So I wanted to be able to create a way for people to prioritize their skin health and also get treatments that, or come in and have an experience where they were also leaving more educated than when they came in our doors. So at the Mint Facial Bar, you'll come in, you'll get a full skin imaging. It tells you all there is to know about your skin, and then from there you go back and you create this custom tailored facial based upon what we see in your skin imaging and what your skin needs.
Wow, that is awesome.
So that was kind of the philosophy behind the open concept, was we can allow people to come in. It makes it this everyday experience, like getting a pedicure, right? You can come with your girlfriends, you can come on your own. It can be a quick thing, it can be a long thing, whatever it is that you need. But you're getting exactly what you want, and it makes it practical for everyone.
So when you said the open experience, does that mean you're not like in a little room?
Nope. So we have treatment rooms. So we offer everything, right? Our custom treatment is designed. It's flat rate. So it's $95. You'll never pay more than that for anything you do. Whether you do a chemical peel or microneedling, whether you stack the two, it's just that flat rate. And the reason for that is to allow people, again, for people that have never had anything done, to come in, learn about their skin, start somewhere. Or, people that have already done corrective things and they want to just come in and do their monthly skin health routine, they can come in and just take care of their skin. But then we also have our treatment rooms. So our custom treatment, our facial workouts happen out at the bar, and then we have our treatment rooms, and that's where lovely Caitlin comes in.
That's where I come in. Yes.
Oh.
Caitlin,
Ooh, I
So
love
what
this
do
concept.
you do? Okay, so I am a nurse. I went to school for nursing and then got into the injection side of it. So I do Botox, filler, any of that. And then with our treatment rooms, we also have a laser. So our laser will do laser hair removal. It does IPL, intense pulsated light.
Yes, intense pulse light.
Yes.
So what does that do?
So that's going to lift your pigment and your sun damage up to the surface of your skin, and then it sloughs off, leaving you.
And we can also correct reds with it. So it corrects reds and browns. So browns, it goes in and it targets that pigment, blasts it into a million tiny little particles. Comes up. It looks kind of like a coffee ground on your face and just sloughs off.
Okay, and what's the name of this?
An
procedure?
IPL.
Okay.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So my sister, this is a funny story. She has, when she's in the sun for a long time,
Yeah.
you know how people get freckles? She gets a dark area right here that looks like a mustache.
Yes.
Like she has a dirty mustache.
So, that's a little different. We actually don't treat that with an IPL. We treat that a little bit differently. Typically, we like to jump into like prescription hydroquinones to help shut off the melanocytes. So what that's called is melasma. And melasma is actually hormonally triggered. So if you ever heard the term pregnancy mask,
Yes.
that's pregnancy mask. And so it's hormonally triggered, but or hormonally driven, but it has triggers like the sun and heat, so they can flare it up. But it's something that we typically treat a little bit different because IPL is heat. So if we hit it with heat, it can make it worse. Back in the day when IPLs first came out, they were like, look at this cool device, we can treat melasma. So they went blasting everybody that had melasma, but then found it comes back a few months later with vengeance.
Oh no.
So now, so we
frustrating.
treat it a little bit differently. So you can do an IPL if you have melasma. We like to turn off those melanocytes first, though, by using like a prescription hydroquinone. So there's some ways around it, but that's what that.
Or a
what the
really bad
mustache is.
prank, I could tell her what to go do.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
there
you
you
didn't
go.
like her, if you had like a terrible sister-in-law, you could be like,
No, I
hey.
love her. No, it's my real sister. I love her.
Oh,
but
yes,
We,
no.
we tease her, so it would ruin our ability to tease her mustache.
It
but
would.
go ahead, keep going.
And then the other laser we offer is radio frequency with microneedling. So just very intense microneedling. It's going to get down deeper into the other skin layers, and it's going to lift, tone, and tighten your skin from the inside out. And it's incredible.
So how long does that last when you do microneedling?
So this one with the laser, typically we want you to do it in a series of 3. So you'll do like 3 treatments 1 month apart. And then what it's doing is it's stimulating collagen and elastin to go in and just kind of help lift and tighten your skin back up and give you that more youthful appearance again. So, and then you kind of just like maintain after that. So every year you'd come in and maybe do 1 or 2 sessions.
Okay, and so are you saying do the laser and the microneedling together?
So it's combined. It's radio frequency, the heat, and then microneedling.
Okay.
So combo treatment. It's kind of our most intense.
It's like the fountain of youth and treatment.
Yes, we have some really good before and
For
afters
people
for
who
that.
go do Botox, what would you tell them?
So
You're
Botox
protecting
is
your investment with
yes,
Botox.
yes, absolutely. So Botox is going to target those wrinkles, and there's just nothing like it out there. I love Botox. I feel like it's the magical drug. Yeah, and
If you get good. We've had discussions with this before.
Where somebody's eye is like this, and the other eye is like asleep.
It's a little scary.
Yes, well, I'll take good care of you for sure.
Do you feel like your clientele is getting younger and younger though? Like my 12-year-old is obsessed with like their skin routine.
Skincare.
Skincare. Like their whole, I mean, they will.
Really?
Oh,
It
yes.
is mine too. My
They
13-year-old.
get on
she's got a whole-
FaceTime all at night, and they're all going through their skincare, and they're doing their routine, and then yes, and they want to go to all of the stores to get their product, but some of the product that they want to purchase is not medical grade.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend?
And that's the thing that I think is so hard for consumers, and especially women. Like, we feel so overwhelmed. Men, they most times just
They
slap.
use soap.
Yeah.
Like a bar of soap.
And it's great.
Same soap that they put on their head.
Just rinse them on their face. Yeah, I washed it when I rinsed out my hair. Yeah, no, and that's the thing is it becomes overwhelming, and I tell people this all the time. You can never go wrong if you're going to a reputable med spa, somewhere where you have to get your product through a physician. The reason being is, like I said earlier, it's a cosmeceutical, not just a cosmetic. So it's a pharmaceutical and cosmetic mesh into one. So you're going to have higher percentages of the active ingredients. You're not going to have junk. There is some skincare lines out there that actually make me kind of scared. And these younger generations of girls are like, it's a fad. But they're products that have 20% salicylic acid. That is a professional grade peel, and nobody should be using that at home. And it's scary. So you do have to watch what your kids are using on their skin because you just never know.
I love your flat rate. I'm like, I will take all of their hands and take them in, and let's go on a little tour.
And I tell everyone that, especially with these young girls, like they have such beautiful young skin, and I think it's the whole trendy thing, and it's awesome. Like, we want them to be into skin health. I look at my mom's generation, and she's like, I put iodine and baby oil on and tanned on the roof with tinfoil. And I'm like, please no. Yeah. And so, anyways, it's great that this generation is prioritizing their skin health, but I think the biggest thing is educating them on what's really important. The sun is responsible for 90% of all UV damage to the skin and aging. That leaves 10% up to genetics. So a sunscreen is going to be number one, right? And a lot of them aren't wearing a sunscreen, surprisingly, with these big, long regimens. So I say getting on a physical sunscreen, a really nice cleanser, whether they're oily or they're dry, just pick a cleanser accordingly. And then just a moisturizer. And that's really just kind of keep it simple. I think when they're young like that, they don't need to...
But they want to feel like they're in a spa.
Yes, yeah, and that's what's fun.
My daughter does the same. She's like, has all this stuff in this mini fridge. Like, she has a mini fridge
I love it.
for her face care stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
As well as
and
for
I think that's
drinks.
where the fluffy, like the masks and things come
Yeah.
in. Be careful with the serums. The serums tend to get us in trouble. But I think, for anyone, I say anyone over the age of 18, they should be using an antioxidant, because an antioxidant really is the gold standard in anti-aging, because it's easier to prevent than it is to correct.
Now tell us where you are
Yeah,
located.
where are you
Yes,
located?
yes.
We have 5 locations.
5 locations, yeah. So our one here in Spanish Fork, though, is 295 North Main.
Okay.
Let's see, Rocky's Tires, I think, is right there. If you guys know where Rocky's Tires is. Yeah, we're like across the parking lot and street, just on the corner.
Awesome.
Cute old building across from J-Mart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right there.
Perfect. Easy to find.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you guys, good luck. And this is a great time. Let me put a plug in. I do a lot of chemical peels and microneedling. Fall is the time to go get this now that we're not out in the sun so much.
It's
so
peel season.
book your appointments.
Love
Thanks,
this.
ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, let's talk about our yards. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Now that summer is coming to an end and fall is in the air, we've got Abby Baum and Carrie Clark from the Laughing Owl Greenhouses to get us started. Welcome, ladies.
Wow, look at the spread.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We have 8 minutes to go over flowers and food.
We're going to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Should we get started?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so an exciting thing that we have at Laughing Owl Greenhouses now is some cut flowers. We're both growing them and getting some in, but we're having some awesome cut flower classes to teach our customers how to put arrangements together.
Awesome.
Very
Yes,
exciting.
please help.
One of my favorite things to grow are our cut flowers. Our houses are beautiful when they're in bloom. So when you start putting your cut flower vases together, you're going to start with your greenery. That's your base of your arrangement. So you're going to start by putting them in there. Let's scoot this a little closer.
Perfect.
And then we'll show it to the camera when it's all done. You gotta kind of base off like how long your stems are. You're gonna get stems that are much longer than you need them at first, so make sure you have your handy dandy snippers. And make sure they snip good. So we'll fill in our greenery just real quick with these different stems we have prepared. And when you're putting your stems in, you'll notice that none of these stems that we have leaves lower than the water. If you put the leaves in the water, the leaves will rot and make your flowers not last nearly as long. So make sure those are cleaned off stems when you put them in there. And
Now, how do
that'll
you
help.
decide what size? Like, these are big leaves, but do you always start with the bigger leaf or sometimes the smaller one?
Sometimes it's based on like what you have available to you. I really like the base of the leaf to be bigger because it helps with the structure of the floral bouquet. And these ones are much stronger. Oh, thanks. Much like stronger stems, but you can do more of a whimsical stem.
Do you want me to hand them to you, or are you going in any sweet order?
I'm going in the order that the flowers say.
Well, you're starting backwards from how I've ever done it. I've always done my greenery last.
I used to always do that too, and it's helped me make more of a structure when you do it this
What
way.
is that?
So this is like it's in the tomato family, but it's used as a fun cut flower for its fun little fruit. I don't know if we can kind of
they're
see that.
darling.
Yeah, it's
almost
just
like
a cute little.
tomatillos.
Yeah, it's a really pretty little ornamental situation for the bouquet. So we'll stick that in there.
I'm noticing some of them you're cutting at an angle. Should you cut at an angle or straight across?
The more the angle, the better. It helps with the nutrient and the water uptake.
Okay.
So now that I have sort of a base and I'm picking off any leaves that don't look super great, I'm gonna start adding in some filler flowers, which these are our cosmos. They're very pretty.
So filler flowers, would they be smaller ones?
Yeah, smaller one, maybe
Or
a
medium
little
to
bit.
small?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you have something like feverfew, yarrow, those little small flowers that keep in that umbel shape, they're perfect for the bouquets for the fillers.
So when you're offering these classes, do you have everything pre-cut, or do people go through and cut what they want to use?
We have a few things pre-cut, but some of the fun of it is that you get to go through and choose like what plants you want. We have a whole house filled with just pots of these flowers that you can come through and clip.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a really fun like girls' night out, date night, like whatever.
Okay, so with that being said, do we schedule it, or are you offering certain nights that are available?
Yeah, so we have a few nights coming up. We have 3 more nights that we're going to be doing it, and I'm just adding filler flowers in right now. And when you can follow us on Instagram and have more information on like what nights we're going to have the classes, what availability we have. But it'll be super fun.
Oh, it
That would be
looks
so fun to
fun.
take my daughter.
Yes. Yeah, I had my mom come with my very first one, and it was a blast.
Oh,
my mom and my
flower's
little
beautiful.
this is a Lisianthus. They're one of my very favorites.
Oh, what is it called?
Lisianthus.
Lisianthus.
Yeah,
You could
or
name-
Lizzies. You can call them Lizzies too. Is one of the common names.
Lisianthus.
So I noticed when I put this one in that the leaves were going to get squished. So I'm just ripping those extra leaves off, cleaning that flower just a little bit better, so it doesn't get any of the leaves in that water. So as we're just filling it in, seeing what looks nice, we want a little bit more greenery in this one. And it doesn't need to be anything complicated. The best thing about flowers is that they're pretty, no matter how you arrange them. There's definitely some like tips, like keep it out of the water, keep the structure there with the greenery that you start with. But other than that, it's whatever is pretty to you. And that's like the fun part of it, is that you get to go home with a vase of something that you think is beautiful and you picked out and you cut and you built, and it's all fun. And so this one's going to be a little bit more whimsy. And so it'll be not as like compact and full as maybe this one would be, but it's going to be just a little bit more.
Free flowing.
Yes.
Well, and I also imagine, like on this one, the back side, maybe not a lot of people will see it. You want people
Yeah.
to see the front, but maybe this would be a table
More
where
of
people
a-
are going to walk around.
Exactly. So this is going to be your your focal point flower. You can stick it in and have it as something that's going to bring your eye to the bouquet. I found that it was a little bit too tall, so I'm going to trim it a little bit and have it sit in there all nice and snug. And then we can keep filling with separate flowers.
Totally do it.
But while I'm finishing this up, I don't know if you wanted to start with
we're
yours.
About halfway,
Yeah,
so why don't
for sure.
you keep finishing and
All
put this
right.
in?
So
Okay.
while Abby is doing her thing, we also offer culinary classes at Laughing Owl. We're actually starting our first one ever on the 22nd of September. So again, check back in at our Instagram and get a spot. More information's on our Instagram for sure. So we're gonna do it really fast. Words.
So you do this class. So how long is the class? And
It just depends on what we're making for the day. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit shorter. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit longer. Again, we have some fun recipes up our sleeves for you guys.
you use like herbs and stuff when
Yeah.
you teach.
Yeah.
So fresh
Everything
herbs,
fresh. Yeah.
which is really fun. And I would
yes.
love to learn more about how to use the fresh stuff
Yes.
because it really enhances the flavor for food.
Yes.
So
Oh yes.
fresh spinach and fresh tomatoes?
Yes. From
okay.
Laughing Owl.
Oh,
Super
both.
excited.
Wow.
Yes. So we're gonna make a caprese salad.
Those are my favorite.
Adding a little bit
Real.
more hearty to it so you can eat it on your to go to the work or to bring it to work or to school depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
So I have about 3 cups of spinach and it's washed and cleaned and dried because you don't want soggy spinach. I have about a cup of mozzarella. So we're just gonna, the joys about these is it's just a dump. So, and the more
Nice.
you let it sit, the more flavor you're gonna have. So I usually make it the night before. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
With basil, you can chop it or you can just rip it because basil's one
But
of
you
those.
want to bring out the flavor.
Yes.
Is that why you do that?
Yes, you're also gonna want to mangle it in your
smell it.
fingers because it will release the oils. So you don't have to use a lot, but really just
Or you can.
Or you can,
Because you
yeah.
love basil.
basil is
But
one
it's
of
a
my
problem if
favorites.
you like it and your husband doesn't.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my
You can
God.
half it.
There you go.
And then we have tomatoes. I have about a cup and a half, but I just quartered them. Some of them I have depending on the
Oh my
size.
gosh, that looks beautiful.
And then the croutons, because usually you serve it on a baguette, but we're doing a salad, so we won't have the full-on baguette. And then you're gonna want to drizzle on balsamic. You can add olive oil to it as well if you'd like, but I just like my vinegar.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of just give a healthy dose to it, but again, go to what you're comfortable with. Again, I like my vinegar. Yeah, I'm just gonna
And then
toss
you
it.
need these cute bowls.
Oh yes.
Yes.
You can't have to be putting it. I love these because they're a different pattern on the inside.
Oh yeah, my kids love them as well. They're obsessed. They were kind of jealous that I took them with me. So
So how often will you be offering classes?
I believe 4 or 5 times, depending on the week. There might be a week break in between.
Okay.
It just depends. We're still working out the logistics of
Okay.
that, but we're offering at least 4 to 5.
Okay.
Really weird. Mark your calendars. It's a
That's
Yeah.
Yes, great date night.
It's all fragrant.
Wouldn't that
with
be?
flowers.
That would be such a
and
fun
the date
time.
I know. I'm like,
I love
oh.
this. And that is turning out beautiful.
It sure is. My goodness.
So did you just come to learn this all by yourself also, or did you
So we
take
have
classes?
a florist who works at Laughing Owl Greenhouse. She has a history in floral design, and I've been really lucky to get to know her. And she's been able, and she's the one who teaches the classes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll grow the flowers for you, but she'll help you figure out how to arrange it. But she's a great teacher because she's taught me.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
if she can teach me, she can teach anyone.
Oh, turn that around so our camera
Yeah, no, I
can
always
see.
overthink it. I'm always like, wait, is that
wow.
gonna match? Is that? But I love
That's
that.
just
Very
gorgeous.
Oh my
nice.
gosh.
Kind of fun, and it's not as hard as it seems. It's really
All
fun.
right, beautiful food,
Oh.
beautiful flowers.
See, that just
Thank
is easy. If
you.
people have
Loving
all
it
that
all.
food prepped for
Yes.
me, then I would
Gosh,
be
look
ready
at
to
this,
go.
right? All of this. Okay.
Thank you.
Check the calendar at Laughing Owl. Coming up, we've got more to talk about. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. It may feel like it's still summer, but fall is coming in fast. Have you got plans for your yard? To help give you a start, let's welcome Travis and Stephanie Knoop from the Laughing Owl Greenhouses to the table.
Some of our favorites.
Welcome
Yes.
Flowers.
Thank you.
We're so excited.
Well, 'tis the season to have you back.
Well, we love to add that color after, especially the heat and everything starts turning brown. We're ready for everything to bloom back up and make our yards look lively and wonderful and exciting.
Send us off into winter with beautiful yards.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Till that frost.
These are the best colors, in my opinion.
They are
I
beautiful.
love the purples.
So one thing we're gonna do this fall is we're having fall building your own fall planter classes.
Oh my
so I think
gosh.
for a lot of people, I know for me, Travis, he can grab everything, throw it in a pot, and it's gonna look amazing. I have to have a plan. So I love for someone to just say, this is where you start, this is where you can
Okay.
go, and really, there's no wrong way to do it. But for me, I like to kind of find my
with you.
inspiration. I like
I'm
to look
with
at
her.
Pinterest and build it.
Really? I'm more with Travis.
Where he like
Just
throws
get
it in.
We don't like Pinterest people.
Yes, I am a Pinterest person. Show me what to do, and I will do it. But
You're going to
Travis,
build a
you can
pot
throw it
from
in.
Pinterest inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's so much work.
Or our marinades. Sometimes I have
need
a
a
much
plan.
bigger mess after
mine
I've
would be a
pulled
mess.
all my inspiration. Travis like, no. But
Well, let's see what you come up
I don't
with.
do that.
So no. What we're gonna do is we have some planters that already are made, but sometimes it is the fun of finding your own flowers and building it. So what we're gonna do is kind of recreate the same planter, and Travis is gonna just talk us through what that's gonna look like. One thing I love about our planters is we have some perennials in there. So these are gonna be plants that come back year after year. One thing I love about that is that when my planters are done in the fall, when it comes winter time, I will take those plants out once my mums are like fully bloomed and they've gotten all their wear out of them. I will take them out and I'll put them somewhere in my garden. I'll put them somewhere else, and usually they'll come back either in the spring, they'll come back in the fall, but then I have just this surprise of color. Whereas a lot of people just toss them afterwards. So rather than tossing your planters, find all the perennials, replant them.
I've been doing that the last 2 years, and it is
It's
a sweet
exciting.
surprise.
Yes.
Well, not only that, but some of the summer bloomers that we all bought, the spring and summer ones, are gone.
Yeah.
So then you get that. I love the fall ones because I have one or two. I'm like, oh, there is hope.
They're good color. Well, and if you have planters that are looking great from the spring, or maybe there's some spots that aren't looking so great, come pick up a flower and just insert it. Or we have 4-inch mums. You can take a little mum, just stick it in there and turn it, really recreate it and let it last as long as you can.
Okay, good to know.
That's the beauty about the planters, is it's kind of like a Lego block series, right? So if one plant dies, it's okay, just pop it out, get a fresh one, stick it right back in, and you got a nice fresh planter again. So yeah, we like
Love
that.
it.
So we're gonna start with, we have our fillers, our thrillers, and our spillers. So I'm gonna let Travis take it away with our mum planter.
Okay. Yeah, so the idea for the fall is basically we love to expand our growing season. You know, me as a small business owner is like, how can you maximize getting more flowers and help beautify the area that we're going in before we go into winter? Fall is an excellent time frame for us to bring in fall color and just kind of give your home that last pop of color. And one thing that I like is like, what's the primary focal point that you want as part of your fall planter? It's always going to be the chrysanthemum, the mum itself, the hardy mum. The mums that we grow, they're a hardy perennial mum that grow excellent here in Utah. So you want that to kind of be like your primary viewpoint. So this right here, it's the filler, thriller, and spiller concept applies, but you also, to make it a little bit different, you want one primary focal point. And so that's why we're choosing this mum today. Then after that, behind it, I like to put in my thrillers. Now the thrillers are definitely your plants that kind of give it the pop, the color that's going to draw your eye to the entire planter. So something that's tall and something that's kind of impactful. So here we've chosen a basil. This is a red purple basil. And it doesn't have to be a flower. It can actually be an herb, because you can see it produces
flowering,
a pretty
yeah.
flower.
Now, this is a perennial then, right?
No,
Or
this one is
isn't?
not. No.
Okay, is this one?
So this one is, yes, this is your fuchsias. These will come back. So, and then we also have the Rudbeckia right here. This is the Rudbeckia it's a rustic Toto rudbeckia. This right here is also a perennial. So this is something that you want to
Kind of
stick.
look like the Black Eyed Susans.
Same family.
I called them
yeah.
a lazy eye Susan one day. I realized that was wrong. It's not a lazy eye Susan.
So, yeah, so it is. That's the common name. People will call it the Black-eyed Susan.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny. So what I'm doing here is I'm like, okay, I know that if my wall is here, I'm going to have this kind of against the wall. So I'm adjusting this because I kind of like the tiered look, that kind
Yes.
of tiered shape.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come here. I'm going to
flow.
put this purple basil here towards the back. We got the fuchsia, and let's see. Let's take a look at this celosia. Probably the celosia. I'm going to put it right here in the front, just because it's a little shorter,
Yeah.
right?
Will that come back?
This, okay, so the basil and the celosia will technically come back because it's going to spread its seed. So the seed will come back, it'll overwinter in the soil and it'll grow back up. So yeah.
This is so gorgeous.
I love that.
This one
You
actually
know I
comes
do.
out of Australia. So yeah, this particular variety was actually found in the outback, and so they've kind of, the breeder brought it in and they've started playing with it, and this is kind of the version that we have today.
Wow.
So yeah. And then this is another one of mine. This is a proven winner, Coleus. We do like using kind of like your higher genetics when it comes to building these planters, because it's an investment, right? These planters are something that you're going to want to invest in because you want to have superior genetics that are going to give you good pops of color that's solid all year, that are your top performers. So we like to use, superior genetics when it comes to our planters. So don't think that when, we're planting your high-end planters, we're using seeded items. We're actually using plugs that have been bred for superior genetics. So that way, they're top performers for you.
Okay.
I never thought of that as, dog breeders and stuff.
Right.
A high performer plant breeder. I like that.
Yep. So I went to school for many years to learn to say that, So
That sounded good, Travis.
thank you.
Very official.
So here, I'm going to adjust this mum a little bit. You can see how this part's a little bit taller than that one, so I'm going to adjust it, angle it down, just
You
like
might need
that.
our help, Stephanie.
I know.
So
Do
I
you
know.
need these up front?
Not yet.
I love
Oh my
So-
gosh, I'm jumping the guns.
The
Because you're excited.
The idea is to get the big guns in first, right?
Oh.
And then you use those as like your fillers, right?
So that's your spiller?
So this right here is actually filler. So this is going to be like a
Another
subfocal point.
I love
Right.
that one.
So this is your ornamental ornamental cabbage on this one. And then now we've got this whole front. So what I love about this front is that you guys can do whatever you want. This is where the creativity comes in. You can actually use, this is Swiss chard out of our gardens. You can use that for pops of color, just to kind of
that's
add as a
gorgeous.
filler.
Actually going to ask if we could eat that.
You sure can. And then here we have the ivy.
Oh, I
Put
love
ivies in
the
there.
ivy
that kind of
too,
spilling
yes.
over.
And then, of course, you can't go wrong with the pansies. Yeah, because the pansies are definitely cold tolerant, so they can take hard freezes.
They're not really a pansy when we think of what a pansy is.
I know.
Backwards name.
Somebody calls you a pansy, you take it as a compliment.
Say, hey,
because they're
they
tough.
made it through the snow
Because our
and
pansies the one
everything.
we plant in the fall?
Yeah.
I haven't done
They come up in
pansies
the
in years.
spring.
Yeah.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, we're going to change that
Do
this
you know
year.
why? It's because by now I'm wiped out.
Well,
I don't even want to water a pot anymore.
well, let us be the ibuprofen in your headache. We'll take care of that for you. So,
He's
but
going to be my.
Well, and while he's putting those last few in, what I love about these fall planters is you could start out with pumpkins, put some pumpkins in there, and then maybe it's getting close to Halloween and you're like, well, I just want to throw something cute in there. You throw some Halloween decor in there. You can really spice up, add some little scarecrows in there, and you can make it your own. And what's exciting is our pumpkins are actually, we have pumpkins growing at the greenhouse for our fall festival. So the last Saturday of September and the first 3 Saturdays in October,
Yep.
we have a fall festival, we have bounce houses, we have little trike-ups. But especially when you have kids that are little, it's going to be really geared for 10 and under. We'll have con candy,
Oh my
so all those fun things where parents can just say, go play, and I can go shop, or I can just hang out. We have like a lounging area, but just a place where you can relax on Saturdays, enjoy your friends and family, and let the kids play in a safe spot.
I love
You guys,
that.
this is fun.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
you.
And I know you left everything in the pots, but we normally take those out, or
That's
if we're
correct.
a lazier bunch, we could leave them in the pot.
Technically, you could, because then if it did die, then all you got to do is pop the pot out and put the new one in. So I was saying, let us be the ibuprofen to your headache.
It's gorgeous.
But it's a little awkward. I mean, I would play with it a little bit more if I had a little bit more time, but this is, kind of the idea of what it would look
Thank
like.
you.
I love that so much.
Okay, so you have cooking, cut flowers, bounce houses, farmers market type for the last Saturday, first 3 Saturdays
Yep.
in October, fall festival.
We'll have the petting zoos, the hay rides.
Come get your pansies if you want to plant them throughout your yard.
Little pumpkins.
Yep, and all of our
gosh, all our
information
things.
about everything going on is all on our Instagram. So if you're not sure, if you can't remember, just go to our Instagram. It's all over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys,
As
good
usual,
luck.
you're
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, we'll talk about the cost of school lunches. Welcome back. Did you know that Utah schools have a growing lunch problem that affects the school and the students? Let's find out more. Welcome Caleb Stokes from the Feed the Kids Foundation to the table.
Thank you. Hello, hello.
That is literally a mouthful.
Lots of things going on there.
Yeah, so tell me, how did that come to your attention? How did that come to be?
So a few years ago, my kids, I live in Salem, and so I'm working from home, and my kids call and say, hey, Dad, I forgot a piece of homework. Can you bring it to the school? And so I run it down, and I'm standing in the office and overhearing a conversation that's happening about negative school lunch accounts, and I just asked the question, is that pretty common? And they said, oh yeah, it happens more than you know, and that was pretty much it.
Okay.
And so that really stuck with me for a while, and I've always wanted to try to find ways to give back to the communities and stuff like that, and it just stayed with me, and when COVID happened and school lunch became free, no one had to worry about it, but we weren't really addressing any issues. And so I started the nonprofit 2 years ago, and yeah, here we are.
I think that says a lot about you as a person, that you see a problem. Because a lot of people, maybe there's other people that overheard it, or people that are in there, but then no one does anything, but here you are doing something about that.
Yeah, and look, there's lots of people that can qualify for a free lunch or maybe even reduced lunch. But we're talking about the families that are just outside of that, qualifying that with the price of things going up, and
Or maybe they were doing fine before
Right,
everything,
and now
everything's just so much higher,
yeah, that
and incomes haven't really changed as much.
exactly. So we're trying to find solutions and answer the problems that are there, and not just pretend they're not there.
So where can we go if someone's wanting to find out more or make a donation? Tell us where should we look?
So our foundation is Feed the Kids Foundation, and that's the website too, feedthekidsfoundation.org. There's a donate button there. You can donate there. You can do a one-time, a monthly, a reoccurring donation. We have corporations that partner with us that donate on a monthly basis as well, and we take those funds and turn around and give them to schools and help those families that need it the most.
Wow.
I remember even when I was a kid, because my parents struggled, and I remember when they would say, like, I would see the negative lunch number, and I was so stressed out. Even as a kid, I can still remember how stressed out I was, even in elementary school.
Yeah,
worrying about.
We don't realize the stress that the unintentional consequences that when we put the stamp on the hand's kid, or on the kid's hand, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
To remind them.
to remind the parents, but that's also like,
Telling all
hey,
your, do they still do that?
yeah.
And do you still see the negative balance? Like as a child, you know that it's there?
You're told that it's negative,
Okay.
right? Hey, your account's negative. You remind your parents to put money in your account. And
What kid's going to go really home and tell their kid?
I mean,
They
mine
don't.
will every once in a while be like, hey, Dad, I got a stamp. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll put money in your account, right? But
Yeah.
if you're a family that can't afford that, I mean, that's hard, right? And a lot of kids will probably go in and wash the stamp off because maybe they're embarrassed
yeah.
you know, because psychologically it plays a role too.
Well, it's not cheap. It's like $2.50 per day to, for your kid to eat lunch
Oh,
every
is
day.
it?
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even really, I guess, think about it per month or that much anymore, because there were the 2 years, I guess, that it really was free. I mean, there were the grants for a couple of years. You're like,
and it didn't matter. Anyone could eat then.
Right.
Whether-
right. So you weren't really thinking about it, and my kids didn't even really complain because I'm like, why would you take a lunch from home? Because it was provided. It was free.
And did no one literally ever paid?
Not
No,
during COVID. Yeah.
there was a grant and it was provided for free for those 2 years. So then when you registered for school again in the coming year, it was kind of a thing. You're like, wow, so we have to start paying for lunch again. And then, $2.50 every day starts adding up, and you have to start refilling the lunch bucket per se.
So the cost has gone up to $4 for breakfast and lunch.
Oh, correct. Yes, if you want to do both.
Lunch is just like $2.50, but if you want to do both, it's up to $4. Which you think, $4 is not that much. But
right.
But every day.
when you have 2,
And
3,
multiple
4
kids.
kids going to school,
And is that just elementary, or is junior high and high school?
it's the same price for all of them.
Well, maybe I should start eating at the high school.
Okay.
I'll call a friend. Do you want to go meet me at the high school for lunch?
You might not like all the school food.
Well, and I've heard a couple of things as well, and I don't always know. I mean, the stamp or not, that they're never going to be denied
Correct.
having food, right? But then I've heard certain, maybe different schools, I guess, that if they're not eating, that some are sitting at a different table and they are only allowed to have maybe a piece of bread and butter. And
I don't know. I don't know
if that's true or not, but
one of the schools that I've been around, but the lunch clerks that I talk to, I mean, look, they know the families that really need help.
even still, if it accumulates over years and years and years, maybe if it gets to a certain amount, then they may not be able to graduate at a certain time,
Seniors,
correct?
if they have a negative lunch balance, they don't get their diploma until that lunch balance has been paid.
And then the parents are responsible.
So how do you disperse then? So when you get this money, how do you figure out where it goes and how much?
Last year, our first donation we made was on behalf of a family who the dad had passed away from cancer, and they had 4 boys, and so I got notified and we called them and just said, hey, we'll go take care of this for you. And so that was our first check that we wrote to a school in Springville, and it just kind of grew from there. I mean, our first year of really collecting donations was last year, and we donated $10,000 to different schools here in Utah County. Helped almost 140 kids pay off their school lunch accounts. And you think, oh, that's a lot, $10,000. But then when the Salt Lake Tribune ran a news article in April of this year and said that we were $1.7 million in the hole for school lunch accounts for the whole state, it was like,
a drop in the bucket.
oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it impacts those kids,
Right.
but man, well, there's so much more work that we can do to really take care of all the kids and families in the state of Utah.
So do you let the schools know? Like, do the schools know that there's this resource?
We're trying to get the word out as best we can, and that's why I'm grateful for you guys having us on and getting us the info out there to the schools that, hey, we're here, we want to come help. And
Yes.
so when we come in, we're here to help, and we really don't want anything more than just to be able to help those families.
What can you tell us about the food insecurity really helps learning and paying attention and being actively engaged?
If the family is having a hard time paying for school lunch, there may not be a lot of food at home too, right? So if the kid that needs school lunch, they're probably not getting dropped off early if their account's going negative, so they're maybe not getting breakfast. They're only getting lunch and maybe a little bit of stuff at home. They're pretty hungry when they show up to school, and if all you can think about is how hungry you are and you're looking at the clock, you're really probably not learning and paying attention, right? And then you go in and you eat all your food, and then the body sends you into a food coma type thing because it's trying to digest it all so quick, and then they don't really pay attention and they're falling asleep, and it's like, man, this kid just isn't.
I'm like that.
The perception of it, right?
If I show up at an event and I'm meeting you, but I can see my buffet over there, I'm like, speed it up. I want
some of that, right?
Feed her first.
Feed me first, and then I am much more engaged.
Yeah.
Well, a
So
lot of us
true.
are like that, and even there's the the backpack programs. There's some kids that are going home with backpacks for the weekend. But I mean, I love this program, and I would love to help you raise awareness. And I mean, what are your goals? I mean, what is your
Yeah.
what's
So we just launched on social media our back to school fundraiser. We're trying to raise $2 million.
Oh,
It's you
Hey,
know,
go big,
hey,
go home.
I agree.
Go big.
and look, if we can take care of the whole state and all of the lunch accounts associated with that, why can't we?
yeah.
I
And
mean,
maybe there's some people. Maybe people just need to know that there's a place that they. Oh, this is how I can help.
right.
I mean, I'm even thinking an Infinite Campus. I mean, if I'm going in to pay for my kids, if I'm filling their, their lunch, account? Yes. If there was an extra place, I could put in the extra $5 or $10, to this extra
That's true.
place.
Yeah, do you want to donate to
Yes.
help other
if
people with
there's
the
a way to
school
do that, I would love to do that.
That would definitely be up to the district, right? But
But you can go put a plug in, right?
right. Well, we're trying to we've been trying to get with the district too. So.
Well, we can help promote it. We're on our social medias and
Absolutely.
share the word. I love too that you can do a one-time donation or a monthly.
Yeah, and we are a nonprofit, so when an individual or company donates to us, it is a tax write-off for people too. So if that's important to people, then there's that little caveat as well.
That
Because
is
we did get set up with the
fantastic.
IRS and approved with them. So you're not just donating your money to some random group that, right now we're doing about 90 to 95% of the donations get turned back around and donated to the schools, and just enough to
And it sounds
cover the
like
costs.
you're doing the research to see what families need it. Because I did talk to a friend at the end of last year. She's wealthy, lives in Mapleton, and just kind of forgetful. She's like, oh, my son's account was up to $350 at the school.
goodness.
I'm like, oh, holy cow, is that legal? And she has the means to pay it, but she
Sure.
just
And
forgot.
sometimes
so.
parents just forget. So that's why when we go into the schools, we sit with the lunch clerks
And do some
we kind of go
research.
through, and they know
Okay.
which families, like the
I would-
situation we were
yes,
talking
I
about.
just would wanna
and
make
they're like,
sure.
no, they'll come in and pay it. We're not worried about them.
Okay.
But this family and this family
Yeah.
and this family, and they'll say, then they'll know. They'll be like, hey, this family's parent's really sick and hasn't been able to work, and it's amazing. It's going to the lunch clerks is like going to the hairdresser, and you get all the barbershop or all the information. So
And there's some
Okay,
school
well, this is
carnivals
awesome.
coming up, so maybe we can put some
Oh,
plugs
yeah.
in for you.
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
This
Caleb.
is great. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. What did we learn today?
Fun.
So many good things,
For
right?
me, it was everything happy, like flowers and food and good stories about giving and helping people,
Yes.
and facials and.
Oh, my gosh. Did you see that coming around when you were saying everything good?
I was
What is this?
focused.
It is a shake.
Well, I know that,
It
Christopher.
better be pumpkin spice. Just kidding.
What is it, Pete?
What flavor? I
It's
can't.
a surprise.
Oh, I know. It's a caramel shake.
It's a
I'm gonna
surprise.
jump right in.
And maybe they're all different, or maybe they're all the same.
So Chick-fil-A has transitioned from their peach shakes to caramel.
This is a caramel shake, Pete.
He's confirmed.
never
It's
had
been
one.
confirmed.
That is good.
Mine's really thick. It's not
It'll take
coming
you a
up
minute to
straw.
get it up the straw.
That's delicious. So I just feel like it was a feel-good day because flowers.
Everything
made me-
started with an F. Did you? Fall,
facial,
facials,
flowers,
and food.
and foundation.
There you
His
go.
nonprofit.
That was so
foundation.
good, right?
Oh.
That was neat.
I really, really want to help him.
Yeah.
I can feel that in you. Like when he was leaving, your
Yep.
wheels are just turning. Like, what can I do to spread
Don't
the
you
word?
think there's a lot of people like that though? They just need to know where to
Well,
help.
I
What is a need?
I mean, when you know though, like when it's kids that are going hungry and there's a need. I mean, And you know, there's avenues that you can help
Yeah.
if you just really want to just jump on board and help. And when it's just one person and you're like, there's so many directions that you can go. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to
Great.
help.
Oh, I'm so glad we found him. And we know someone that has been on our show, reached out to us, told us about him. So hopefully we can spread the word.
Absolutely. And then after you donate, you go get a food class
Yes.
and learn how to use those fresh herbs
Yes.
and have some fall fun at the Laughing Owl.
The fall fun is just around the corner. We have so many things just in our little 15-mile radius.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of being a hater. Like, I was not loving fall. I was kind of mad.
Yeah. And now after
You wanted
the
the
show,
summer to still
Yes,
continue.
I wanted it to be.
and now how are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better.
We're going to take some mums home with us tonight.
Yes.
You have a caramel shake.
Yes.
You want to go donate
I want to feel cozy now.
your sweaters.
You're
Yes.
wearing your sweater. You're more fall
Sweater
than we are
weather
right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hot.
But I'm a little cold. I'm like, this might be my last time we film in the short sleeve
This
shirt.
is
so-
exactly what happens, though, right? This is the transition
Yes.
where you like in the morning it's chilly and you want to put on this sweater, and then you're like, oh, it's so
It's
hot.
like you need a layer. You need to have your
Totally.
short sleeve shirt on, but then put a blazer, cardigan on, and
Oh, my Barrett has been doing the little youth cheer, and that's exactly, they've started out in the morning and they have on their sweatshirts and they put on their cheer uniforms and they're like dying. It's so hot. So it is exactly that season. So
it is fun.
it's perfect. Yes.
And I'm ready to go back into my kitchen and start cooking and baking again and doing some
I'll
fun
let
fall
you do
things.
that.
Yeah, what time are you doing that again?
Yes.
Natasha and I will be
Well,
right over.
I'm only thinking of it. I haven't started, so
Okay.
if I'll let you know.
Okay, you bring all of that to sample. And thank you for
Yes.
joining
Oh, it's
us.
always a pleasure.
So fun, so
Always a
fun.
pleasure.
Love you, Angela.
And thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation and learned something new. Please share our program with your friends.